Hello, team. Welcome back to another Line War cast. Look at this map. This is the map today. We have a trade route in the bottom of the map, and these three trade routes kind of in the middle and two on the side. Our players are Basantos, who will be in blue, and someone said that my nickname sucks. Of course, we're going to refer to them as nickname in red. We can see the nicknames going on the right side of the map here. Basantos in the bottom, neither player is going to know that they're close. I don't know where both players would suspect that the other one has gone. There seems to be a few decent starting locations. And we'll see who makes the first move on production, and it's going to be Nickname. Nickname going double airport immediately. Love double airport here. I mean, there's really only one main landmass to actually contest. Basantos going for a dock and an airport immediately themselves, and a dock for Nickname. And this is very classic out of Nickname. Nickname usually likes to, or rather, from what I've seen in replays, likes to build a dock and get folks across and start capping different islands as soon as possible. Another factory and a barracks for Nickname. Factory on the south for Basantos here in blue, of course, again. So we can be able to see what both players are making. So it's strikers from the two airports from Nickname, and it's also strikers from Basantos. So this is going to be interesting because Basantos has more money right now because he didn't go for another airport. This is the tank coming up from the factories. Tanks are, of course, great if you can get past your opponent and get on top of the infrastructure and the production. Like you don't want to run these tanks like right through this big blob of infantry necessarily. So I'm going to be very interested to see how these tanks are able to navigate through the mountains and the forests here, because tanks are very slow going through there. Like in the open, they're going to be very strong, but of course, like we have to wait and see what happens. Basantos's view, you can see now that Nickname is starting to come into view. So Basantos is realizing exactly where Nickname is. We can watch the lines to get an idea of where Basantos wants to go with their units. And Nickname, of course, sees the exact same. Nickname's going to start setting strikers down here. Strikers are going to get great trades against these infantry until there's anti-air from Basantos, which there won't be very quickly because there's actually going to be two tanks. It's great, I think, to get two tanks before moving them out, because one tank doesn't really pack the same punch. I'm interested to see if Basantos is going to go for four tanks, but I suspect it might be two. But I've also been wrong, so who even cares? We can see the capping that's going on. Nickname's almost at the north of the island here, going to start getting folks onto this right island. There's of course a lot of economy over there, so the economy battle is going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top here. 368 income for Basantos and 332 for Nickname. So not a huge discrepancy at the moment. Basantos, of course, has a lot of money in the bank, and this is very good for a few reasons. Not only that you can have more money to spend, but I think based on the number of buildings, Basanto has less upkeep. So Basantos is actually making like a lot more money per minute right now because there's more units, and or rather buildings for Nickname, right? This second airport. And as I'm saying that, there's a refinery and another factory for Basantos, so we're probably relatively getting a little bit closer on the income per minute. These infantry have all been wiped out. This puts Basantos in a little bit of a precarious spot, I feel like, because Nickname might be able to start getting this open field. That's actually probably not even true, because these infantry are going to be able to roll up here and put a little bit of counter pressure on it. It's going to be at least 3 tanks. I'm really interested to see if Basantos goes for 3 or 4 tanks. I don't personally use tanks all that much, but I think that's just because I think they're very difficult to use in a lot of ways. Very strong in the right hands. But like I'm not really a tank player, so I'm learning as much as someone watching this game is right now. Nickname's out of gas. There is no gas geyser for Nickname, and there's some boats, and the planes are now grounded for Nickname. Here's the gas. Here's the refinery, the first refinery from Nickname. So for the next little bit, Basantos has a little bit of an advantage because all these planes are grounded. Let's see what the tanks can do. So it's going to be 3 tanks, and the follow-up out of the factory is a 4th tank, which actually this is decent timing because this 4th tank's probably going to pop pretty quick. This is great defense by Nickname on this mountain, and I've been seeing more players do this, and I think it's very strong, is just to dig in 1 or 2, like 2 rather, artillery pieces by your production. It really helps with, you know, commandos or tanks, for example, getting up on these airports and factories. Because one of the big questions here is, are these tanks going to do anything given the defensive posture of Nickname? We can really start looking at the income. 464 for Basantos and 428 for Nickname. The dock that Basantos has in this middle lake thing that will, I guess it's not really a lake, but in this middle part of the water is huge because these 2 gases of Nickname are so close to the water that boats are going to be able to hit them. And Basantos feels that they can actually push. They can't really see exactly where, like what is in these mountains. Presumably Basantos makes a reasonable guess that there are things in these mountains. I think these strikers will also help to spot what's going on because they see the gas already. This is really good because this cruiser and missile boat are like uncontested here. The planes are going to have to launch for Nickname, but Nickname doesn't have a ton of gas to launch all these planes. And here's where strikers are just so good. There's 1 SAM, but 1 SAM's not going to be enough. Here comes the strikers, but we need to watch Nickname's gas because Nickname might run out of gas even before this refinery is going to be taken out. I mean, the refinery is definitely going to go down, and now these tanks are getting up through the mountains. And this is a big moment in the game, I feel like. If Basantos can get on the factory, maybe even an airport, kill 1 production building, I think it's maybe even worth it. 2 would be ideal. The strikers are really saving the day here. We can see what the Basantos is targeting. Yeah, targeting the airport, which is the play. I think this is definitely the play. And if you can get your opponent down to just 1 airport on strikers, and you have your own 1 airport striker, that's a really good job. Cruiser takes out the gas, so of course Nickname is now in total trouble. None of these planes can take off, and I don't think there's enough on the ground here for Nickname to be able to deal with it, especially with this other tank reinforcing. We can see the gas for Nickname on this bottom right island is going to be where Nickname builds their backup gas. Basantos is out of gas himself. I'm interested to see when the second gases go down. It'll be a tragedy if Basantos can't get one of these airports. If Nickname cleans this up, I think Nickname gets really lucky here. Yeah, Basantos is starting to lose vision. Like, you can see Basantos right here. Like, those airports disappeared from view for a split second because, you know, fog of war and things being in mountains, they gain a little bit of stealth. And I don't think either one of these airports is going to go down. And so an economy check is really important here. 560 for Basantos and 488 for Nickname. So Nickname is certainly behind. Basantos actually takes out this airport. Basantos clearly in the lead right now. Because this top right island is, over time, Nickname's going to be able to get a bunch of economy from it. But for now, Basantos has quite the economy lead, and in fact, doubling down and getting a city, or a town rather, all ready for Basantos. That will put them even further ahead. And I think these cruisers should be able to attack one of these buildings. Maybe not, unfortunately, for Basantos. Enough SAMs are popping out for Nickname now to be able to deal with this second volley of strikers. And Basantos has 2 more tanks, so those can really come in handy. Those could be big. As like further units to help out here if the tanks were to get on, like help out with this push. Right now they're capping, which is also good use for them. And certainly Nickname's going to lose the second airport. These missile boats in the back for Nickname have been relatively clutch to help out with getting rid of some of the strikers. But now going down 2 airports, 596 income for Basantos, 464 for Nickname. This is a very tough position to get out of. So Nickname's putting down a factory right here in the mountains. I think this is the play. We can see that the strikers for Nickname exploded since they have nowhere to land because there's no airstrip and the 2 airports were destroyed. I think Nickname definitely is right to want to try to hold this mountain range because there's nowhere really to retreat to. This transport ship, Nickname's always very good with transport ships, so you can't discount them quite yet. Airstrip for Basantos, this is really just to get the airplanes off of the airport. Slowly this airport fills up, and once it has 6 planes or whatever, the airport will stop making planes, which is not what you want to do. It's very inefficient if you have an airport that's not building. Another factory back here for Nickname, and so it's 3 factory, 1 dock. That's the only production for Nickname at the moment, and of course the gas. But with 2 tanks, like these 2 tanks alone are going to be able to do a ton of damage here. This whole force of Basantos is likely going to be able to kill these factories, and they see that it's up there. Basantos can definitely see this in their vision. I like the capping here for sure. I don't think Basantos is in a rush to kind of deal with this because, you know, like these airplanes are gonna certainly get owned here by all these SAMs. But like clearly Basantos has a numbers advantage, so maybe part of it isn't you don't want to push up into this mountain with like not all of your stuff, like while all this stuff to the south isn't really caught up, and then somehow take a bad trade. We really need to watch this transport boat, so Nickname's going to go on that left island. Here's a barracks in the top. Presumably commandos will see what the plan is. And a gas. Basantos taking this forward gas, which actually makes a lot of sense because now that we look at it, there's no other gas for Basantos to take. And Basantos is really making the good play, which is ecoing behind this. With such a lead and a huge production facility advantage, Basantos doesn't need to spend money on production facilities, right? Because they already have more. They're able to push more with what is existing. So going for a town, we are already this town, but this town on the south and this town on the top, that's really big. And this production is all done for Nickname. I like this move with the missile ships on the bottom side. Nickname is going to go at least scout a little bit and see where the docks are. Hopefully make sure Basantos doesn't build a dock on the bottom, right? Because one of the advantages that Nickname does have is this dock and this navy, but otherwise there's really nothing else going on. 584 income for Nickname and 758 for Basantos, so this is quite large. I color me very surprised if Nickname can pull this off at this point. This is a good looping command from the strikers, so these strikers are going to definitely be able to take out this gas. I don't know if Basantos sees this yet. Yeah, so Basantos doesn't know that Nickname has this gas, but as soon as Basantos sees it, this gas is super dead. And that's a low gas noise from Basantos, but that's only because the second gas I don't think has really come online. These missile ships on the south, this is exactly, I assume, why they were sent down there. It's a big play to stop the Navy. Because really, this is all that Nickname has going for him right now. Factory in the north, so I guess the idea might be to just push down this island. Like, Basantos' boat has to go all the way around this kind of peninsula thing to actually get in play. But these boats for Nickname aren't unfortunately able to do anything right now. These 3 missile boats are going to be able to take out all of these different buildings. We can see that these boats actually are able to hit this town. Basantos is going to have airports or airplanes at home. So I don't know exactly how many strikers need to take on 3 missile ships. We understand missile ships to have the best anti-air DPS in the game, even better than SAM's. Airport for Nickname on this right island. Love this play. I really feel like that's going to open up the game and help protect this gas a little bit for Nickname, although they do have a navy. Like this is where it's unfortunate. This dock is just getting pummeled by artillery. See this retreat command from from Basantos to keep these artillery in range of the shipyard, but out of range of the boats, right? So these artillery aren't just getting pummeled by these boats at the same time. Great control there. Barracks in the top. I'm interested to see, are these going to be tanks in the north? No, they're not. So it's going to be an artillery push from Nickname in on the north of the leftmost island. Barracks on the right side to help cap quicker all this open land. Still a huge comeback from Nickname if they can pull this off. 584 income for Nickname, 851 for Basantos. And when it comes down to Basantos, I feel like if Basantos can clear this out, this has the potential to be very annoying and catch Basantos off guard, but I think they'll be able to deal with it. 2 cruisers versus 4 missile boats and a cruiser. This is not going to be good for the cruisers. Basantos knows it. Basantos is piecing out, and to help like get reinforcements of, although it's only 1 boat right now, and Basantos is out of gas at the moment. Great artillery line from Nickname here. This would be enormous to be able to keep this factory. If Nickname can keep this and kind of mount a defense here. The Navy is doing great, but over time we'll see that there's 2 docks from Basantos on this left side of the map. So that's way more naval production than what Nickname has, right? And here comes that 3rd dock and even another gas, taking a very aggressive gas, and I like it. Basantos is playing without fear right now. For sure without fear. And I agree with it, right? Because the eco lead is so huge, 937 for Basantos and 584 for Nickname still. We can see what's going on the left side. So these missile boats are going to be able to take out this town. They're not going to be able to take out this town because these artillery pieces are going to be able to defend it for sure. 3 commandos and a transport plane. So this transport plane, not exactly sure where it's going to go, but it probably even just land on this rightmost island is what's going to happen here. Unfortunately for Basantos, they lost all these SAMs, but I don't think the SAMs are actually all that useful for Basantos because it's not like there's any planes that are going to be in play right now. This was a silly thing. I want to see if Basantos knows that there's a airport here. And actually, don't even see the refinery, which I'm surprised about. I thought that strikers flew over. It might not have been enough strikers to detect this thing because it's in the mountains. And buildings in mountains get a stealth bonus. Mountains and forests. So that could be why the strikers weren't able to see it. Building a dock on this little island for Nickname, I think that's really smart because Nickname needs the, like, Navy is going to matter here, unfortunately. Yeah, see, so this might actually just now be a... No, okay, there we go. So when the commandos dropped out of the plane, then there's vision that shows up. 2 docks now for Nickname, and totally agree. Because it really, unfortunately, is just going to be a Navy battle here. It just kind of has to be, or rather it feels that way. The 2 commandos are going to do their best to, I guess, like, dip and dive, duck and dodge, or whatever the heck the thing is, and get away from the helicopter and these 2 infantry. This is annoying. This really multitasks Nickname a lot. Like, I love that Basantos has these commandos here, because over time, if you can even just make Nickname forget about those things, it can be huge. Like, imagine if, you know, Basantos is able to cap one of these territories or something, or even just wait until a few minutes in and just start attacking that airport. That can be a really big play. Basantos' navy is clearly, you know, outnumbers Nickname's. Nickname is just jetting out of here, probably to defend this refinery, while Nickname builds their own navy. This is actually taking a while to cap this top right island, unfortunately for Nickname. Great sniping of those economies, though. It's very big. Yeah, this is exactly why. Because this is a very important spot. I mean, this is also Nickname's only gas, I want to say at this point. Yeah, only gas. Nickname's trying to snipe Basantos' gas here. This is actually a great call from two helicopters. Very lucky for Nickname that they didn't run into a bunch of missile boats here. The two helicopters are definitely going to be able to get that gas. And with these commandos, I mean, this is exactly it. This is a huge play, right? The transport jet dropped off two more commandos. I think those two Soul commandos probably wouldn't have been able to do it. Totally wrong about these helicopters getting the gas. They would be able to get it the next time, but by that point, the missile boats may have repositioned. Because these helicopters are kind of just like threading the needle between these SAMs and these missile boats. But this certainly feels like the beginning of the end. 632 income for Nickname, 988 for Basantos. This push in the north, Nickname has two factors here now, two barracks. It's all just pumping infantry and artillery. Basantos is pushing up this northern part of the island. Yeah, and here comes these helicopters that are unfortunately just going to run into a bunch of boats. If one of them gets through, they should actually be able to still kill this. Yeah, this one helicopter might be able to do enough, but Nickname's going to lose, like losing the one gas that Nicknames has for one of Basantos's 3 gases or whatever is unfortunately not the best trade. And you know, Nickname knows it. It's just a tough spot. When Nickname lost the 2 airports and then a factory, it's like, that's a tough ass to come back from that playing against someone like Basantos. This is a very good push. Basantos has started to get these towns and these ports, so if you build a town over here and get a port, they will have a trade route, which is just a bunch of container ships that give you a bunch of money. Trade routes are worth 10 territories, so are cities, which there are no cities on this map. So I can't show you what a city looks like, but you get to upgrade a town when you have 3 industries on the map. If you've built the industries, which are special sites on the map as well. Nickname's gonna be able to keep pushing this, but I don't think Basantos is really gonna care about that. Like this is a problem that needs to be dealt with, but you can even allow all of this to push up to here, really. While still maintaining like a huge economy lead. 620 economy for Nickname. Over 1,000 now for Basantos. And when it comes down to what Nickname can do to catch up, I think it's a very interesting question. Because Nickname has 2 docks. Over time we'll be able to build up a navy. But Basantos also has 2 docks, and Basantos has what is about to be 2 airports worth of striker support. And these strikers are able to get all the way out here. You can see on this blue line, right? So the strikers can actually even start hitting these docks, but more importantly, if there is a big naval engagement, Basantos is going to be able to launch 2 full airports potentially of strikers with all of their boats, right? And it's just like Nickname losing this airport to these commandos. It's just tough because there's no air support now. Yeah, and this is perfect. Basantos is just making a defensive line here, like saying you can come all the way down here, but ultimately, I mean, this is only a few territories of income. Nickname should be able to win this fight for sure, but it's really an economy problem at this point. Basantos capping these navy, or actually I guess they're not capping, I guess this destroyer is actually just scouting. Nickname's going for economy in the top right, as we can see. It's the only play that Nickname can possibly make here, just because, you know, they will be, like, Nickname is going to be so far behind on economy, and he knows it. Yeah, 3 transport jets. This is probably all full of commandos. Here's the commando drop. This is actually sweet. I wonder how this is going to work. If you drop commandos kind of in the retreat, or like rather the reinforcement path of those units. This is a factory. No, sorry, pardon me. It's an airport and a barracks for Nickname. Taking this island back is huge, and Nickname has identified that. And this This is a really good play there from Nickname. But with this push dying out, I think that is the end of it. So 6 commandos. What happens here? We can see Nickname's vision. There's enough units for Nickname that none of these commandos are stealth. But the commandos are going to trade like all right in a situation like that. This, and more importantly, it pulls a lot of the stuff that Nickname has, you know, pushing, pulls it all back. So now, like, there's a little bit of artillery kind of firing at these artillery, and the rest are trying to go backwards. It becomes a very tough situation. This cruiser is just hanging out in the middle, just living super risky right now. Nickname will take back this bottom island. Nickname has secured the top right part of the map. But we can really look at the income. 1165 for Basantos and 644 for Nickname. Nickname clears those commandos. There's enough production here that Nickname still can keep pushing. Maybe if there's a good enough SAM count to negate all these strikers. And landing here is a huge play from Nickname. And I love it because this is really the one of the ways Nickname can get back in the game, which is kill these docks and just win with the Navy. But here it is. Here's the strikers, right? So there's 3 strikers, and it helps turn the tide, but maybe with the northern airport, if these strikers start launching for Basantos, which they will, this will over time work out for Basantos. Another cruiser just popped. That's unfortunate timing for Nickname. Yeah, Basantos is going to be able to push all the way up in the north here. And I think that's game. That certainly feels like game. That was so quick. That game went very quick. I mean, it's like once Nickname loses those airports in the factory in the middle of the mountain range, it takes so long to like reset, you know, to get back on like decent footing. And by that point, Basantos has done the right thing, which is, you know, build up economy. Basantos retaking this economy, and this is a trade route, so this itself is going to be huge if and like rather when Basantos secures this. Because if this navy goes down to the south of the map to kill the trade route, then Basantos just goes across and kills the docks and then strands this navy down in the south. And yeah, Basantos is going to start landing on this top right island, which is really all Nickname has left. Income wise, 1246 for Basantos, 701 for Nickname. We can hear the sub pen for Basantos right here. Subs are actually huge here. Subs definitely, because things like this, like subs are so good at getting rid of like transport boats like this, or even catching, you know, like all these boats. There's not actually destroyers as part of this navy for Nickname, because there can't be, because of this reason. Like, Nickname is too busy trying to build cruisers and missile boats to be able to actually take fights against Basantos' navy and then deal with like strikers like this, that they can't really afford to build a destroyer out of one of the docks. I don't know the exact number of boats needed to have like a critical mass to be able to detect submarines, because submarines are stealth units, but certainly it feels like it's more than like, you know, 3 or 4 boats. This is a great landing party. Barracks for Nickname. Unfortunately isn't going to work out. Yeah, here's the port for Basantos, so this trade route over time is going to generate 10 territories worth of income. 689 for Nickname, 1296 for Basantos. These boats actually can hit this refinery too, which is annoying. This is very interesting, this game. That early gas snipe by Basantos, like this was a tough starting spot. I actually feel like Basantos played this really well by having a dock. Like whether on purpose or inadvertently, that dock was huge sniping this gas and being able to like actually help out on the you know, fighting on the land, rather, like being close enough that Nickname can't really get too close to the coast. These docks are definitely kaput. Yeah, that's got to be it. It's a lot of planes. That's a whole 2 airports and an airstrip worth of planes. GG. Very good game. Yeah, that was great. Well played to both Basantos and Nickname. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you for watching. That's that concludes the Line War cast for today. If I hope you have a great evening, day, night, whatever. I stream Line War on Twitch. Other folks do too. The name is SodaQuackers. Also SodaQuackers in the Line War Discord. Come join the Discord if you'd like to, learn more about the game, chat with other people who like the game, and hang out. Anyway, enjoy. Peace. See you later.